Alright guys, here we are with week number 6, and I just want to start off by saying that I have gotten a lot of progress done this week. I plan to get even more progress done next week, and then the following week, or a few weeks actually, I'm going to be sort of taking a break from uploading as many update videos, because I'm going to be prioritizing making animation. So I have a project in the works with another fellow YouTuber. We're going to be collaborating on a couple of Brickfilms, which are going to be Harry Potter related. So this MOC is going to be featured in a Brickfilm, as well as a few other sets I have to build for that. And then, of course, we have to animate everything. So that's going to be taking place after week 7, but here we are in week 6, so let's jump into what I have to show you. Alright, so I'd first like to start off by pointing out that I have tiled off a good section of this, whereas previously I was missing a few of the 1x2 light gray tiles, but I have substituted in some of the 1x4 modified tile with the 2 studs on either end, so I can add in some minifigures. So here I just have Harry, Ron, Hermione, Seamus, Dean, and Neville. And of course I can add more minifigs later if I want to. And then we just have some green plates over here to represent the moss when this gets butted up against the courtyard wall. But I will eventually get more plant parts to further detail this up. But that's what this is looking like for now, and then let's look at the building. Alright, so this is what the other side looks like. So as I said in the previous update, I was going to permanently attach the doors here, so I have some clips going into the 1x2 brick with a bar connector on it, so there's just a pair for each door on the sides there, and then they do pretty easily swing open. And there you go. So obviously here I'm using a lot of the 1x2x5 bricks, so the walls are a little plain here, but that was just to give me the height so I can figure out the spacing for where I needed to put those clips and the modified bricks with the bar on it. And I also had to calculate how many of these cylinders I'm going to need. And as you can see, a lot of them are dark gray. Some of them will stay dark gray as some of the column is weathered, but a lot of them will be swapped out for tan once I get those parts in. Alright, so I also went ahead and tried to tile off as much as possible. I'm obviously still missing a lot of the light gray 1x2 tiles that need to fill in many of the gaps. But here you can see I've replicated the doorway onto this side, whereas previously it was only on this side. And then I've also replicated the stairs, which are behind each of the entrances. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So after removing this wall, you can see on the other side here, we have the stairway leading up this side, and then same thing on this side. But if we move this out of the way, you can see the stairs on both sides, starting from the ground and then going up and then around. And then I also started to extend this wall a little bit. So in the previous video, this wall was narrower, and same with the base. I went ahead and finished extending this. I had started extending it, but I didn't finish on this side here. But now this protrusion section goes inside of this indentation here. So that kind of lines up like that. once I snap the Technic parts in at the base here, then it all fits flush against the walls. Here you can see I'm missing again the cylinder bricks, which are going to go and fill in most of the columns here, but the wall extends all the way to the top, so it's the wider length here all the way up, and I just went ahead and extended it. So now the back section here, which basically had this gate design, is a little bit more recessed than it would have been. So if I turn around, you can see that in there. It's a little dark, but you can see it in there. It's further back than how I originally designed it. But let's go ahead and look at this side, as this is where most of the work went for this week. Here at the bottom you can see Madam Hooch's office, which I showed off last week, and I did say I was going to finish up the walls here. So there's a wall separating her office and the broom storage, and then there's going to be a wall here separating this room from the entrance room. But I actually did not end up doing that, and here's why. So since I am going to be working on animations, some Brickfilm projects here pretty soon, I wanted to prioritize the exterior because I knew I was going to have more scenes of that than the interior. So I went ahead and decided not to use all my parts in a section that might not be shown quite as much as the exterior. So a lot of the tan bricks went to building up the facade here. So that's why it's looking a little skeletal here. You can see I have just this random post here just to hold everything up. And then here I have the facade. It's very bare bones inside right now, but from the exterior it looks rather nice. And I finally managed to detail this triangular section here, which sticks off the side of this clock tower. And here you can see that I'm missing a few more pieces and haven't quite finished that, but by next week I will go ahead and finish filling in that section. Alright, so here's what the side is looking like. As you can see here, this is the outside of Madam Hooch's office. So I basically spent most of the week building this section because it was a little more complicated, especially as there are jumpered portions. So here we have a section which is an odd length here. So if you count it out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 studs wide, and then it's going on to a 12 stud wide base here. But what I've done here is I've used tiles to sort of approximately fill in the gap. It's not a perfect solution here, as it's a fourth of a plate recessed, but it's very unnoticeable, and at first glance you don't even really see that it's indented too much. So that's what I've done there to center these windows, but get them as close to each other as possible and still maintain this dividing pillar here. And then for the top section, you can see I've done something a little bit different, still using tiles here, but now they're on the inside of the building instead of the outside like this is. So that's what's going on here. And then I have the 1x2 modified plate with the rail on either side to fill in the gaps a little bit better than they would have otherwise been filled. So yeah, that's what that's looking like there. So a lot of time went into figuring out that, and as well as this entire section is also jumpered. So we have here is 1.5 studs away from this window is where the building starts. So this entire thing is jumpered here, and then it has to essentially go back into the normal system on this side. So we have 1, 2.5 studs of length here. So it was very complicated trying to figure out how to make this building those specific dimensions and the specific distance away from the rest of the building, but it was very important for me to get the proportions of this looking right with the reference photos. So yeah. Also, you'll probably notice, again, this is Madame Hooch's office from the exterior, but since I spent most of my time doing the hard stuff first, which doesn't look like much because it's a lot smaller, this big space is going to be pretty quick and easy, as all I have to really worry about is the window placement. So it's essentially just going to be straight walls from here on to the top, and then all I have to worry about is the roof. And then of course interiors will start to be made as I go along, but for now mostly going to worry about the front facade and then work our way from the front to the back and then to the inside. But yeah, so this is mainly what I've been doing for the week. Again, it's going to be another short one. I do feel like I've gotten a lot of progress done this week, even if it's not a lot of stuff to show you guys. But you guys can let me know down in the comments what you think about that. As well as, I have a question for the viewers. What color do you guys think the roof of Hogwarts should be? So here I have both sand green and dark gray here, and initially I was kind of stuck on sand green. I really wanted to do sand green because I haven't really explored sand green as much due to lack of parts. But as I'm gonna have to obviously be buying more tan parts anyways, I might as well have that as an option. So I was going to put the question out there, basically, what color do you guys think it should be? Sand green, dark gray. I did sand blue on my last Hogwarts, so sand blue could be an option too, and maybe there's another color that you think will look even better. But yeah, so just throw that question out there. If anyone has a suggestion in the comments for that or anything else, just let me know. And that's going to cover it for this week's video. Alright guys, bye for now.